As an example, I will present a piece of research work which conducted recent years. And this work was done by a Master of Engineering by research student. And he has got 2 pieces of research work on this topic. I will show you what is topic. And also he has sent out to submit 2 journal papers, which are supposed to be the extension of each of those conference papers. So two journal papers. This one has been accepted in ICC by ICC. If you are working in the communication field, you know that what is the ICC. And GlobalCom, which are supposed to be the flagship conferences in by the Communication Society. The other paper has recently accepted by WCNC, which will be presented by him in almost the mid of April, that in Morocco. So I have been there once for the duty of the distinguished lecture. So this piece of work is basically particularly working on the AO2.11 AH wireless network. So that everybody nowadays using Wi-Fi to get the connection of access point, to get the connection of the internet. Well, this is another type of wireless network which is specified by the IEEE AO2.11 AH. So to describe this work, I have a few subtopics to say. One is the motivation of the work. Why we work on that? And then the proposed solution, and followed by the security evaluation, performance evaluation, and so on. So first of all, what's the AH network? So we know already that the popular Wi-Fi system, which is specified by the IEEE AO2.11 family standards. A lot of, the AO2.11 standard. For example, in vehicular network, the communication is specified by AO2.11p. That is one type of vehicular network. Nowadays, the popular wireless normal use of the wireless LAN is the AO2.11n, which will have the MIMO to support. So to make the wireless network faster to reach to more than 100 Mbps. The old days we have AO2.11 ABG used much. Nowadays the 11N is very popular in the market. You can easily get access point, whatever. Or if you have the new laptops, computer, it will support the AO2.11n. But this one, AO2.11 AH, is different. It's specifically specified for the support of IoT. So I understand that a lot of IoTs, including one of them is called 6LoWPAN. Just now I asked you to delete it. Yeah, you know that kind of specified that system, the 6LoWPAN system? Yeah, but anyway, it's also a standard of the IoT. I have a PhD student who has published 3 journal papers on the security of 6LoWPAN. And this guy has come to work on the IEEE AO2.11 AH. AH is going to define the AH is going to define the network which can have the long wireless coverage, low data transmission rate. So in our daily life, the high standard of AO2.11n is going to reach to the high speed to over 100 Mbps. Well, this one is not. It's on the reverse direction. So AO2.11bgn, AO2.11ac, those are the development of Wi-Fi technology. Also, we have Zigbee, Bluetooth. You have integrated into the small board. So if some others interested in this integration of the different types of those IoT technology, you may be a good example. But now I'm talking about another thing, which is not, although it can be used in IoT, but it is another issue. So this is so-called AH, which the standard has been published 2 years ago, 2017. And it is still called Wi-Fi, but Wi-Fi Hello. Okay. The feature of this is that this design is going to target the implementation of IoT to support the IoT communication. The data transmission, the bandwidth, the physical layer bandwidth used is 900 megahertz, and it supports to the communication over 1 kilometers. So long distance communication, while data rate is slow. It's supposed to be, data rate is supposed to be 10 Mbps. Now we are normal wireless line is going to achieve 1,000 Mbps, while this one is only 10 Mbps. It is supposed to be in star topology like this. There will be access point, while others nodes are supposed to be the clamps. The features introduced in this network are specified by the standard is that there is a so-called restricted access window, which means that outside this window, those sensor nodes will stop or sleep. When the window comes, they will be alive for the communication in order to reduce the power consumption in the communication, to make the life cycle longer. Yours have another great feature is that it's self-chargeable. That means that there's no need to reduce the power. You can use the power as usual because you always put the power there. Then there's another feature is that the associated ID, hierarchical. There's a ID associated with each of those sensor nodes. The most important thing in our work we have used is the target wake time. So this is the feature associated with the first feature. That there is a target wake time for each sensor node to get back to be alive. There is the issue is in our work is to look at one issue inside this AH network, which that of course when a sensor node to get a connection with the access point, there is a procedure called link setup. So during the link setup, there are many information exchanges. And while in this period, there's one important issue is that authentication. to let the access point and the sensor node to know each other, to know whether the sensor which join the network to be a legal sensor node or not. So that authentication has happened in the process of link setup. Not only that, we already mentioned that the sensor node will sleep for a while, and then at the so-called target wake-up time, the sensor will awake, continue to get the communication of access point. And this period, there's also a procedure called the link setup. Well, if there is a link setup, there is supposed to have authentication involved. So what we are working on is to look at this authentication process. So the link setup procedure is that you can see, first of all, discovery for the sensor node to know the surroundings. How many other sensor nodes and access points are there? And then followed by the authentication. This is the major issue we work on. Okay. Then followed by key generation and distribution, and this one is associated with the authentication. Without authentication, it's not possible to produce keys with the purpose to hide the information in exchange. Then protected data you transfer, that is the user data or payload, from the sensor node to the access point, or access point to the sensor node, and connection termination. So if you look at this link setup period, there are two steps which are very important on the security. So any hacker is possible to attack the communication procedure in order to make the system to be hacked. Then once, for example, if your sensor is going to collect the information which are military associated, then it's possible, for the hacker to get all the information from your sensor. That's possible. Or even to produce the fake information over the link, so that what you received, collect, is nothing but fake information. You cannot trust that sensor. So this is the significance of the security in the IoT. So that we basically work to look at these two procedures and work to produce a little bit stronger solution. So as we mentioned that link setup has those issues, and the important issue is that the authentication and the association. And the details, the problem is the details of these two procedures have not been specified in the standard. That's basically empty. It says that, okay, in this link setup, we need to have these two steps, while there's no specification to say how each of these two steps are going to implement it. And then there's only a simple suggestion saying that the authentication can be done following AO2.11i standard. I'm not sure whether you are clear about what's the standard for IEEE AO2.11i. It is the standard particularly designed for Wi-Fi, for general Wi-Fi security. However, this standard has published over 15 years. It was not 13 years. It was published in 2004. While from 2004 to 2017, in those years, a lot of research work has been done to disclose that there are a lot of vulnerabilities exist in the IEEE 11I standard. Even some solutions are proposed to enhance the IEEE 11I protocol. While this, you know, this very interesting, this standard of IEEE 2.11AH suggests to use IEEE 2.11I. That's ridiculous, right? So we found this point. That is a breakthrough point for us to, to work out something, to contribute something to the, to the research academic field. So this is our work, which we target. How shall we come up with this security solution? Well, that 11I is not secure. A lot of vulnerabilities have already disclosed by many researchers in this 13 years. So this is the motivation. You can think of that is a motivation. IEEE has not specified the details of the authentication and the authorization materials, including the detailed security algorithms and so on. Well, 11I is too old, and this protocol suggests to use the AO2.11 protocol. Lot of issues have been discussed to disclose, saying that this AO2.11I is not good enough. But recently, there is a new standard, also published in 2017 or 2018, to specify the link setup process. This link setup process has a little bit of detail, but this one has not been said or specified to be used in AO2.AH network. Just one standard to enhance the old standard of AO2.11I, and this one has some good function of the security. We can take use of them. Okay, so those are supposed to be the different issues, so we try to link them up and find out our solution. So that the next step, what we want to do is that try to use this new standard, of course, with some kind of modification to the network of AO2.11AH network. So this is a general direction of our research. We try to use this through modification applied into AH network. So along this way, we continue to see how we are going to perform. So basically, this AI, AO2.11AI, has specified a new link setup process, and only specify so-called initial link setup process. Try to achieve the goal that the process will be less than 100 milliseconds. This is a new part. Issues specified coming with the AO2.11AI. The general design goal is like this. reducing the signaling overhead, achieving faster handover between access points, increasing the efficiency of power producing, adding more efficient frequency beacon transmission, allow increasingly rapid network detection, and so on. In fact, it has not particularly to say something about security. Although the new AI standard has much modified with the to the old one, to the AO2.11 I1. But it has some existing functions of the authentication has been taken. The new authentication function has been taken. The total goal is that to speed up the link setup process. So this is the authentication process specified in the AO2.11 AI. So we have studied this process and consider that it is good enough to be used in the AH. Of course, after some modification, what do we mean by good enough is that secure enough? We have performed the security evaluation to see whether it is real secure to some degree. So anyway, this is the authentication process specified by the new protocol. Finally, over this period process, the pairwise master key produced, which is going to further to generate the second key for each time of the information hiding, encrypt the information to protect the information, so that over this we can get this PM key, and further to get pairwise transit key, which is a temporary key. And this key will be used only once for one session of the communication. Once the connection, then we use this key. Whatever number of messages exchanged, we use this key to hack them. But remember that in the AO2.11 AH, there is a particular, special features that target work time, which means that once the sensor fall into sleep, it will be, after a period of time, it will be alive, to be come back to start the communication. After this sensor get back, it also need to have a reset up. So this is a feature we need to consider in order to apply. This is a feature we need to consider in order to apply the AO2.11 AI into the AO2.11 AH network. So that we need to modify something in order for the AH network to be able to use AO2.11 AI protocol. So, well, for the AO2.11 AI protocol, it has only mentioned the link setup process. It has not mentioned in the environment of AO2.11 AH, once a sensor get back to alive, what's happened? Okay, this is an important thing. Then we simply change something to make the AO2.11 AH to be applicable in both processes. One is the initial connection, the other one is reconnection. Once the sensor awake. So if we simply apply this AO2.11 AI into the AH network, there could be multiple number of authentication to be performed. Then it will take more time. So that we have motivation to think that how to reduce the time used for the authentication in the subsequent phase of the link connection. So the first time we still use the AO2.11 AI without any modification to work for the authentication. While after the first time, in the subsequent reconnection period, we are going to have something to reduce the total authentication time without the reduction of the security level. So basically, we come up with a new portion, which is called the FKR. Each time we have sensor reconnection, we use the so-called, we design the FKR to do the authentication, rather than simply use the files, which is specified by the AO2.11 AI protocol. So the first time we use AO2.11 AI, while the rest of the connection will use our own design scheme. Of course, this one has been modified from the files, but it's not totally fast. So this FKR is so-called fast key re-establishment scheme. And this is what we have designed, so-called FKR. We have further more information exchange during the authentication process, while reduce the number of messages exchange, reduce the number of steps to work. But each step we have include more informations to hide those informations by hash function, by some kind of encryption. So this is the modification towards the files. And then we have the, those information has been, presented like this. Basically, we have used the hash functions to hide the information exchange. But for each step, we include more information while reduce the number of steps or number of exchanges to be done. So this is the issue where we have modified. Of course, we need to follow the file's specification, but modify something over there. The goal is that for both parties, the sensor node and access point are able to prove their identity to each other. That is, let both parties to know each other, right? Both parties are able to derive new temporary key for the usage of information exchange to hide the information exchange in the process. Then AP has to allocate new derived the temporal key, which we call a group temporal key, which is different from the original files. So that although we have such a design, the following work is that to verify whether our design can reach the goal. What is the goal? Goal is to be faster in the subsequent reconnection, while to keep the security function to be same as before, to be same as the 802.11 AI standard. So that we need to perform this kind of, evaluation. First of all, security evaluation to see whether has the similar function as the 802.11 AI standard. And then to perform the performance evaluation to see whether we are able to reduce the time taken for the reconnection. So followed by security evaluation, we use a so-called band logic. Band logic is a short term of this logic expression. These are the three guys' names. So finally become band. We use a band logic to prove that the all design is logically correct. To prove the logical correctness of what we come up of our authentication, which is used in the reconnection setup. Then the details of the band logic, I will not go through detail, but anyway, there are some steps to prove it. This band logic is nothing but a logic derivation language. It's not going to be provided to the computer system to do the proof. You have to prove by your hand. Mathematics, not exactly mathematics, but the logic. So that if you work in the security field, you should be very clear on the logic rather than the calculation. Okay. This is the logic proof. First of all, there should be an ideal form, and then to use some parameters to present the communication parties. One is the sensor node, the other is access point. And we have some assumptions, which are supposed to be the starting point to derive your proof. And we have a goals to say, what's the goal of this proof? This authentication protocol has the goal that to let each party of the communication to trust the other side. So this is the goal for the authentication protocol. We have this goal expressed in those expressions defined in band logic. And then we have some rules that they call it as postulators and so on. We use these rules to start to prove and finally to reach the goal. Then, which means that all design is able to be correct in logic without the possibility to be to take any logic flaw to hack the protocol. Not only that, we have used the so-called formal verification tool. This tool is called a Sizer tool to further verify the proposed scheme or design the protocol. So this formal verification tool is similar as a simulator, but it's not different. It's not totally same. The simulator will provide the performance matrix to describe the system. But while this one will not produce some kind of parameter in digit, they just answer you to point out which step you have something wrong, and which step is vulnerable to be attacked, and so on. Or simply say that okay, safe. That's it. So this will be the result of the formal verification. So there are a lot of formal verification tools. The Sizer tool is one of the tools we use. We have other tools like the one I mentioned here. One is proof, verif, and automated validation of Internet security protocols and applications, which is simply called as AVSPA. AVSPA is used much. If you try to search the literature, you can find a lot of the proof by AVSPA. Anyway, this is a tool. The system model or the protocol model should be modeled by the language provided in the tool, which is similar as the simulator. That in simulator you are going to program to produce the simulation model, then deliver to the computer system to execute it, to find out whether it is safe enough or not. As I mentioned, this formal verification cannot provide some digits to show that the security, but it is possible to point out some vulnerable points for the possible attack to attack. And also, all to simply tell you that whether the protocol is safe or not. And this is in fact, this is the result of this proof. It shows that if okay, it means that it's verified security. If not okay, then you need to check. You need to debug first whether your verification model is good enough, or your verification has something wrong, or your design has a problem. So you need to go back to check your design and the formal verification model. So this is the sample of how this protocol has been programmed to be a formal verification model. Similar as say, but it's not exactly say. You need to learn some. Then we have a simple analysis on the security. This is called the security analysis. And basically, if you read some research papers on security, they always come with this kind of analysis. But this analysis is a qualitative analysis without strong proof. Okay, the previous two, we have first of all derivation from the logic, and we have the program to verify in the computer system. Well, this security analysis is very weak from my point of view, very weak. You may say that this is secure enough, but I can always put provide opposite example to break you. So this basically, if you publish a conference paper, you always come up with this kind of analysis. If you publish a journal paper, it's difficult for you to just have a simple security analysis. But anyway, we also have this security analysis included in the journal paper. Not only that, we also have kind of performance evaluation. We know that if you're working on the, any virus system, computing system, anyway, you need to evaluate the performance. So we also have done the performance evaluation on the time taken for this security protocol to take. Because for those information security guys, what they are going to achieve is that 100% of secure. In fact, it's not possible from my point of view. Never have 100% secure, because you are supposed to be secure against some attacks, but the other day some other intelligent guy may design a attack to break you. So there's no 100% secure. On the other hand, those information security guys will just focus on the the level of the security, level of the secure. So enhance the security with very complicated security functions, such as hash, some other kind of encryption, decryption algorithms. The issue is that they will take time. While if you design the protocol used in a wireless network, it's a totally different thing. Okay? Because the network is a real-time, dynamic real-time system. The situation in the network always change. So that your design of the authentication protocol cannot to reach so-called 100% secure. If you really, first of all, it's not possible to be that. Secondly, if we really want this 100% secure, then your system no use. You are from the industry, you know that. If it's no use, what's the purpose for this design? Nonsense. Right? Very simple example is that vehicular network. In the vehicular network, specified by the AO 2011P, that each vehicle will have an onboard unit, and there's a roadside unit, and each roadside unit is going to control a small coverage for the wireless communication. This coverage could be 1 kilometers. However, even so, once the vehicle comes into the coverage of the roadside unit, it will perform the authentication. If this authentication takes much longer time, the vehicle has already moved out of the communication range. No use. Although you got secure, protect the information, but there's no time, no opportunity for the vehicle to deliver the protected information to the roadside unit. What's the sense of the design? So that's why the network security is totally different from the information security, because we not only to achieve the goal to protect the information, but also we need to have quick response, quick function to protect the information, so that there could be always a trade-off between the response time and security. Just like a tailor, maybe if you want clothes or shirt that it not be suitable for a particular network. The reason very simple. If you're thin, then you may buy a white shirt, then to make you not so beautiful, right? But if you fight while you buy a thin shirt, then maybe you cannot put in. So the same thing for the network security. You not only consider the performance, not only consider the security, but also the performance. Otherwise, what you design is not usable, nonsense. So we have performed the performance analysis to see how much time used. We have a simple comparison between the files which is specified by the AO 2011 AI and what we designed the protocol. Over here, we see the number of different secure operations to be done. Also, we have the delay comparison as well as the energy comparison between the two schemes. And then we come up the overall performance analysis against the unknown attacks. So the current security evaluation is based on what we have known, the attacks, what we have known, the pattern of the attacks. while some other day, maybe an intelligent hack will design something new to break you. How have you considered this type of attack? This is another issue. So that we also evaluate the performance of the so-called unknown attacks to show that our scheme is better in terms of performance, in terms of the delay required, in terms of the energy consumption. So that this is the energy consumption required by FKR. This is the files specified by the new protocol, new standard AO2.11 AI. So we have mentioned that the overall protocol will still use files only one time. The rest of the time of the reconnection will use FKR. By this way, we can improve the performance of the overall process in the AO2.11 EH network. There are too many networks involved. Without this involvement, you cannot achieve the, improvement over the performance. So this is what this is the last slide we have, that this is the relationship between the AO2.11 AH network and the AO2.11 AI standard. Then we try to combine them to produce something new in order to reduce the time taken for the reconnection period. And overall, of course, overall period will be reduced if the sensor not only just used on one period of time, then we may much improve the performance. So that is the result. Okay, any questions?